go to the real Joe, and then I'll come to you, Hannah.
Can you hear me, Chris? Am I clear?
Yes, you're clear. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity. What I wanted to tell the people is that they think this matter of impeachment is a joke. As we speak, this is a recipe for disaster. If these people don't go, both of them, sababu si tuliwapigia kura watu wawili. If they don't go, both of them, this is a recipe for disaster. As we speak right now, according to the information that I have on the ground, there are people already talking about arming the people in Rift Valley so they can defend themselves. So there are Kenyans out here who think that one going will be a solution. Both of them have to go. Both of them are thieves. Tuliwapigia kura watu wawili. Waachane na Wakenya wengine, waendelee na maisha. So if these two of them don't go, this is a recipe for disaster. 2007 is going to come back. And this is not a joke. The president thinks that by removing his deputy will help him maybe loot more or will help him do whatever he wants to do. But I can tell you, wasipoenda wote wawili, we are waiting for disaster. This is a disaster that is about to happen. Na kila mtu ameona zile chaos zimetokea when guys were going to submit their views this morning. Everybody saw what happened. And because we want to keep our country intact, all these two of them, they should go home. Both of them waende. Kama wezi kaa chini, wazungumze, watulize nchi, tension iende chini, then both of them should go. These two motherfuckers should go. Because Kenya, we don't want to go back to 2007. Those who are old enough know what happened in 2007. We don't want to go back there because exactly people are already talking about arming people in Rift Valley so they can defend themselves. What does that mean? What is that supposed to mean? That there's a war that is about to happen. So if these two of them can't sit down and talk and watulize tension ya nchi, then what's about to happen, it will be too late. Wakae chini, waache ujinga. Kama wanapigana ni boardroom wars wanatuletea, wakae chini kama boardroom, wazungumze hii maneno na ishe. Because they're involving Kenyans and this thing is escalating in a way that nobody is about to, what is about to happen, I think hakuna mtu amepangia kitu. Kama vile tu ile happened 2007. And I regret campaigning for them. I regret doing everything that I did for them because they have totally disappointed me. These abductions na kila kitu zina happen. Watu wamenyamaza. Wakati watu wameabductiwa, vijana wamepigwa risasi, Gachagua hakuongea, Ruto hakuongea. In fact, Ruto has got even no idea how many people died. So what do we do? If you have someone who has got no idea what is happening in his country, in his government, then these motherfuckers should go. Watu wache wa Kenya tuishi kwa amani. So that's all I wanted to submit. But what people think this is a joke, but this is a recipe for disaster in our country. Information kutoka ground. Already watu wanaongea kuhusu wajihami, sijui to arm other people. What does that mean? And these politicians are on the forefront of arming people. That is exactly what happened in 2007. Kwani tutaangalia nchi yetu ikienda chini kwa sababu ya watu wawili. Wote waende. Kama wanaenda wote waende. Usituambie sijui mmoja aende mmoja abaki. Wote wawili waende. Because we're in the same ticket. If it is a problem that we voted in, then the whole problem should go out. That's all I wanted to submit, Chris. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Captain. Captain, are you a captain in the army, a former captain, or you're a general?
No, I'm a helicopter pilot. Though I'm in a private, sijakuwa commercial bado.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for that submission. Now I'll give Joe a chance. The real Joe. Joe, go ahead.
Thank you. I see Western is back. I don't know whether you'd go first or I just continue.
You just go ahead, my guy. I called you.
Okay, thank you. So basically, first of all, I would like to ensure that to just ask us not to fearmonger in terms of the next elections, what would happen in the impeachment or not, and let's just stay in between the lines. Having said that, there are issues that we are raising, and I've also had previous speakers raise that if the impeachment has to happen, both president and deputy president have to be impeached, both of them. And those are just very, very, very legitimate concerns and very, very legitimate issues. Thing is, Kenyans feel that the deputy president, yes, he's at fault. The president is at even more fault. He's done even worse. So why is the deputy president being persecuted? We also need to be alive to the fact that removal of office of the president from office and the president are two different, have been already articulated in Article 146 and Article 145 and Article 150. So there's already procedures for that. But the main issue here is actually in terms of governance. And I think here I would go with the Luca. Luca had talked about this. The main issue here is governance. Article 10 is one of those articles that we undermine sometimes, talking about national values and principles of governance. See, this article wants governance to be public, governance of the Kenyan people to be done in a particular way. Okay, it requires patriotism, it requires good governance, integrity, and transparency. Therefore, this article is something that we have it in the Constitution and we're not even experiencing it at all. But where do we get this problem? This problem comes because we failed to enact Chapter 6 of our Constitution, which requires that we give, we select representatives based on integrity. So when you select leaders who have no integrity, then how will they then come and govern with integrity? They will not. So that is one of the problems that we have. Moving forward, we need to ensure that Chapter 6 is the first denominator in selecting representatives, because right now we have tribalism as a problem. We are seeing the politics and the people of the mountain are within their rights to defend the deputy president as their own person. I have no problem with that. They're within their rights. The people who voted for this regime also are within their rights to say that, we voted for you people as a ticket, even though roles of the deputy president, just as Lucas said, are not properly articulated, because the deputy president has been given a role as a principal assistant to the president, and therefore it makes them subject to the president and any role that the president gives them, which also can be taken advantage of by the president. And you see what is happening right now. The president is actually taking advantage of that. The biggest problem we have is then the members of parliament or the legislatures. The members of parliament are not only supposed to review the conduct of the deputy president based on instructions of the president. They are dancing to the tune of the president, which is wrong. They are supposed to review even the conduct of that president himself. The Constitution gives them power which they are not aware of. I don't know whether they are not aware of, or I don't know whether it is ignorance. But according to me, I think it is ignorance and stupidity that their Article 95 tells them, review the conduct of president, deputy president, and state officer. Do they do that? They do not. If they would do that and review the conduct of the president right now, there are more than 1 million grounds to impeach the current president, even without talking about the deputy president. In fact, just the president alone should be impeached first before impeaching the deputy president. So these are the issues. Parliament is that's why the young people always say, occupy parliament, occupy parliament. It is the biggest problem we have. And it boils down to selecting the representatives. So moving forward, we cannot always regret that, no, we gave this regime a chance and things like that. We can't always do that. That happened. That boat already sailed. What we need to do is, moving forward, what do we do as a country? We need to ensure that we select leaders as per Chapter 6 of our Constitution. We solve half of the problems we have in this country. The next problem can be solved with the leaders who respect the rule of law, human dignity, and human rights, and basic social justice. That is what leadership is all about. Thank you very much. I land.
Thank you very much. The real Joe.
Can I add one thing, please?
Yes, Captain. Yeah.
Yeah, what I wanted to say, when you want to tazama issue na when you want to issue, they should remember there is an M coffee number there. Tutume pia kahawa for the host, because they are spending their time to bring us together here. Yeah, so because they're also spending their time, they should be. I'm sure they have other things to do as well. But when you tuko hapa pia, we should also consider that they are using their own time. Asante.
Was I next, Chris? Or?
Yeah, thank you very much, Captain, for reminding me to tell the people there. Your kahawas, by the way, if you send any kahawas there, they go to the host and the co-host. So, yeah, thank you very much for calling that one out. So now, who was next? Next I had Hannah. Go ahead. Then I'll go to West.
Yeah. I'm just gonna make mine short and clear. I like what the last speaker said. But I think the problem is exactly now what Captain have just said, and this is the mistake that everybody keeps doing. Captain said he actually campaigned for both of them, but he regrets it. But if only Captain maybe would have taken his time and look at however he would have looked at, he would definitely have to either go with one or the other, or stay in the middle and not campaign for anybody. So what does that do? That limits your choice. So the problem is, if we go back on the ground, fundamentally, these people have planted people who would be there for decades. If anybody is not blind, you can see Ruto's journey. Where did Ruto start? Who was Ruto's teacher? Who was Ruto's mentor? So everybody has mentored somebody and put them in the system.
For a minute.
Sorry?
Just to reply on that, Hannah. We are all human beings. We make mistakes. Only a fool doesn't change his mind.
Absolutely.
So I thought these two people will take us to a place where this country deserves to be. But it's too early for me. I mean, it's too early for them to come fighting in the second year. So, mtu akifanya makosa, kosa ni kurudia kosa. So, and for me, I saw these two people, this is an irreparable damage. Irreparable relationship. Hawezi kuwa pamoja tena. You see, either both of them go home, speaker achukue, and then we move on as a country. But kusema moja aende mwingine abaki, that's a recipe for disaster.
For me, it doesn't make any sense one of them to go. Let's just be clear. Let me just put it out there. But where I was alluding to is I hate looking at things. We would keep, how long would we keep fighting? We did the finance bill. There is Adani. There is this. The list is endless. The bills of farming. Those regulations about farming, and now we have to pay for this. We have to get our seeds from here. We have rules and regulation that at the end of it is not to work for our best interest, but is to make money for other organizations, and not only make money, but to control us. If you can control what I eat and what I put on my table, then you control me. And that is fundamentally where I want us to focus. The problem is this whole thing. The people with their system, that is where the problem lies. When you're given the choice between choosing Ruto and Odinga, then fundamentally there is something wrong with us as a society, period. And we don't want to face that. We want to look at, maybe this shoes is okay, but maybe his hat is okay. No, why can we not have people who have not been in this system, or people who are in this system, but they're not coming at the top? People who are actually genuine. Ivan, it's very childish for you to be putting thumbs down. You have something to say, you can come out of the mute and say, you know what, I have an issue with what you're saying.
No, Hannah. People disagree here.
I do agree for the disagreement, but someone can interject.
Hannah, everybody has a right of opinion. Don't be angry.
No, why did I say I'm angry? Why did I say...
on your point, because we are listening to your point. There are people who may not like it.
Okay,
and they can I finish?
That's fine.
Not everybody, not everyone.
That is.
We are listening to you.
No.
Your point.
Hold on. That is.
Listen, I am Hannah, mute your mic. I am saying this. All of us here are grown-ups. There's no kids here. It's not a primary school. So I expect here we have a little bit of order. So Anna, you have 1 minute. Finish up your point. Having hand is up. If he has something to respond to you, he will do that in due time.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. There's no point of saying somebody's angry. Actually, I was inviting Ivan to the speaker and maybe correct me where I'm wrong instead of doing an emoji. That is all I was expressing. I did not say he does not have the right. He absolutely, otherwise what's the point? I'll be talking to myself, he'll be talking to himself, Captain will be talking to himself. No, we need to have a conversation. We're not having lectures. for me, fundamentally, what I'm saying is we have to look at the people we put in office and the system. The system includes us, includes them, includes what the colonial put there. Colonials put things that would work for them and tell us, you know what, we have left the house, you're in control, while we are still not in control. So we have to look at the overall, this picking and choosing. And now we are on that juncture where you hear people saying, no, we need Gachagua to go. No, Ruto and Gachagua have to go. This is what I'm saying we do not need. We need to actually look at them, say we do not need them. But then what's next? Who do we want? Who is the person that would change things? What kind of system and what kind of governance do we want? We have to think of long term, but this picking and choosing short-termism is not going to fix everything. But it's a start. But the start has to be a good start. If it's not a good start, then we're just going to go into merry-go-round. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Hannah, for that. There's another Hannah on the speaker panel. I wonder if she has anything to say, because no, she does.
Hello, everyone. Am I audible?
Oh, my Hannah.
Am I audible?
Oh, there's a. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Sorry? Am I audible now?
You're not. Are you using earphones?
Yeah. Let me remove them.
The earphones, because
Now? Am I okay now?
that's much.
Oh, okay then.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I am okay with what Hannah Ali was saying. She's making some points in a way. When it comes to politics in Kenya, you have to know that you are playing a game called Kabaddi. This game is whereby you push and pull until you get to access on the other side. I think everybody should go and look at that game. Very interesting. You have to go through people. And those people are right now Ruto's people. They have arranged themselves since long, not now. If you look at Rigathi, he was just placed there. He was chosen by them. Actually, they did vote. They wanted Kindiki. Kindiki could not be manageable because apparently there was issues. He was not representing the central. So he was chosen because he was a DP. And when you are a DP or a DO in those areas by then, ulikuwa kamtuka kusemana. You have so many tentacles everywhere around you. So DP Rigathi was by mistake chosen there. So obviously you have to find a person who will align with the Ruto's idea. And right now the Ruto's idea is, he always says it right on his speeches. He says when he goes out of the country, Nairobi is a metropole. People do not understand what a metropole is. A metropole is, you have to make sure that you capture the industry inside the Nairobi. And not only Nairobi, because he has already started giving other towns city name. So you have to take the industry, you have to take the commercial areas, you have to take the transport network, you have to take the infrastructure, and you have to take the housing. And if you look at it right now, is it shaping? I think you guys right now are looking at it as it's shaping. That means he has to put people that he knows he can control on those areas for it to be a metropole. Then once he goes out of the country, he goes and meets these people who want to invest inside the country. And those are the key areas that they look at so that they can be accessible for them to come in and integrate and make their business work. Because on top of that, he always says Kenya is a country led by laws. But Rigathi anakuja na uzee wake, anakuja na tumbo kubwa, and at the same time anakuja na ushago, akili ya ushago. So when he's given, I think Ruto had this maneuver thing that if I give him a little bit, he will keep quiet. But no, Rigathi has a big stomach because he has to make his people happy. But at the same time, wanagongana because ndio maana unaona walikuja na hiyo story ya per person give me 4,000 shillings, hiyo ndio vote yangu. So you see very well this thing is defining itself in a way that the people, the Kenyans, are now being kanyangwad, because if you put a rhino and a hippo at the same time and they have to hit each other, you will see that the hippo is very good when it's inside the water, and the rhino is very good when it's on the land. But if the two start fighting, both of them may end up dead, and that is where we are right now. So Ruto is doing everything to take this industrial area, this commercial area, and transport and infrastructure and housing projects for himself, from his benefit. And people are not so seeing that he has put those key people on the right. All those areas right now, they are being taken in by the Kalenjins, which is normal. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't care. But the thing is it working for us? It is not working. That's why the people are now angry. So what can we do? The problem is the system is not ours. We have no structure. The fact that we have no structure, now that makes it a very big problematic. The young people, they have decided, yeah, they want Morara or whoever, and they are infighting all the same, which is also very good. I do not mind. I like it very much. Let them fight. The more they fight, the better, because now you are removing the shafts from the real seats. But the problem is there is no person to show them what the game, this game, the politics game. Because most of us, we are just saying, yeah, you are fighting and everything, but nobody is telling them how this game is being played. What is the game? I myself cannot tell you what the real game is in politics, because I have never bothered to ask myself, can I enter into that perception? But there is a real game. There has to be a structure in that game, so that when you come in, as you can see, they are putting she and sha and all that. That is what they already wanted to put in. That is their structure. But if you see that's why I usually ask myself, somebody like Morara, he is good when it comes to politics, maybe inside the country. But if you take him out of the country to go and deal with these people outside the country, will he be able to manage that? Can he negotiate? Or what is going to happen? He's still young, so he has this young mind of a 28, and he has to know the strategies in which these people work with. What are the rules inside between two countries? What are the rules between outside countries? In Africa, what are the rules between European countries and Africa? Because Kenya is the gateway to Africa, so you have to know exactly what is going on with these two. With the international laws. Also, you have to know the comment on l'appelle piège, the mahali wataangukia, because kuna mtu aliweka mahali rule yenye you cannot go against, and if you try, you will not be able to manage to go through that road. So you have to either maneuver, or you have to either negotiate. And that is the where I find myself. Morara being on his own is going to be problematic. So I'll leave it to that, and I will ask everybody, go and look at that game called Kabaddi. Make sure you learn how to do it. If you do not know how to play chess, no problem. Go look at that game called Kabaddi, and imagine that is regarded trying to go on the other side and still being pushed on this other side, and you'll see what is actually being played in that area. Anyway, that's what I have to give today. Anyway, bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Hannah, for that submission. Now, Weston hasn't spoken, so I'll give Weston a chance, then I'll give Ras G a chance, then Nairobi, Irving. I think Irving had something to respond to Ali. So before Weston, Irving, what did you have to say to Ali? You have a minute.
I really tried not to be rude because I assume people are older than me, but I just feel like my brain cells are being lost. Like when we started the protests, remember, the first thing these politicians did was say that, oh, these are just spoiled rich kids. Oh, these are guys that come with their iPhones, that ride Ubers, that eat KFC. I always wondered, why would he say that? And so I went to a poor part of Kenya. I went to Huruma just to see if, can a Gen Z from Kileleshwa and a Gen Z from Huruma speak the same language? And it was a bit heartbreaking because I met people who were just as educated as me. The only thing that went wrong for them was who their dad was. And they took me through how the reason why the politics is played the way it is because the educational system they are brought up in is trained to get them to think a certain way. You see, the way the educational system works is they're designed to think a certain way in order for them to stay poor. And the reason why, and they stay poor, that's what helps the politicians. So I find it very unfair when we're attacking it's because Kenyans are corrupt. But I'm like, if the way these guys are taught in school is designed to have them think like this, then the problem is how they're being taught, So I'm like, okay, fine. It's the educational system. Let's go through civic education. Let's start talking about the Constitution. And then when you talk about, but who can replace these leaders? That's something I expect to hear from someone in the village. Someone that has access to internet 24/7 should not be talking like that unless you're not smart. For me, when the protest happened, I was like, okay, what do I stand for? I'm a Christian. I believe in lower taxes. I believe in a smaller government and big business. So I'm like, okay, which of these politicians, who has been consistently pushing an agenda that's favorable to the business community, stands on Christianity, and also believes in lower taxes? I saw, Senator Mtata. I call and I'm like, hello, Senator, I've just done my research on you. I kind of like what you've been doing. Can I pay a visit? Yes, I did. Paid a visit, spoke to him, got to explain what I wanted. He got to explain to me what he wanted. Simple. Somebody, you see, and that's because I'm in Nairobi. Someone that has access to internet 24/7 should not be crying about, but who will replace them? You're not in the village. You can Google, research, and actually get a meeting with some of these guys and get to understand them. So please stop demonizing poor people because they did not choose the educational system they went to. That's one. And two, you have enough time to research who you like and do that. Thank you. I'm done. Also, thanks for having me. I'm going to drop down soon.
As a Christian, 1 second, Chris. I never said I don't know what he's talking about. I think Hannah agreed with where I was alluding. If you don't have somebody in mind, if you don't know who is going to replace these two guys, and if you're not going to replace a lot more than two of them, it being in their parliament, in your up to your locality, your municipality, if you're not going to start opening your eyes, then this problem will continue. And I don't know, Kenya kuna education mbili, kuna system ya education mbili, sijajua, ni kitu mzuri kujua. So I have no idea what Ivy just got back at. I have no idea.
Hannah, it's been 3 months. The conversation should have moved past who are we looking to replace by now. There's already 4 fragments in the Gen Z movement. There are those who are with Morara, there are those who are with Bukomol and the Communist Party, there are those who are with Kasmil, and there are those who are standing with Omtata. It's already happening. So you're having the same conversation over again. Like, are you guys not tired of talking in circles? I'm sorry.
Interesting. Anyway, Weston, now go ahead. Weston has been raising.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you so much, Chris, for the chance. Greetings to your listenership. One, there are fundamentally 3 grounds on which to remove William Ruto from power as the president of Kenya. The democratic way, either through impeachment or through elections come 2027. Or, secondly, through a people's power revolution, popular uprising, or through a military coup. Military coup is not going to happen. Shelve that one. People's power revolution, chances are increasingly getting slim and remote. That is, it could be removed through that approach. So what are we remaining with? The democratic way. Well, even the People's Power Revolution is still democracy, but state actors don't look at it like that. But the democratic way where people vote either through the ballot during general election or in parliament, members of parliament, and in this case, the bicameral parliament that we have, that is not also going to happen because he has got a vice-like grip on both houses. He's not going to be impeached anytime soon. So that is it. Why do I put this background? Because both must go, Ruto and Gachagua. Well, it's wishful thinking. If we cannot see how Ruto can go through these approaches, it's wishful thinking. But Ruto can get rid of Gachagua. He can. He can get rid of him because he has got the numbers in both houses. He can marshal those numbers, they impeach him. Gachagua is gone, he appoints somebody else, he swears him in, life continues. That is it. So it's well and good to say both Ruto and Gachagua must go, but how? How? Whereas Ruto can remove Gachagua, Gachagua cannot remove Ruto. He could only do that if it was like Senegal, where the prime minister controls, the political landscape, because he's the one who endorsed the president and people voted for the president. But the power behind the throne is the prime minister. That guy called Usman Sonko. We don't have that kind of a person in Kenya. We don't. So I think there's also the element of pussyfooting in Kenya, especially when the crunch time comes. We've been talking about we need the IBC to recall these members of parliament. Yeah, we need IBC as soon as tomorrow. We recall these people. Well, impeaching a deputy president is part of democratic consolidation, for those who don't know. It makes it possible for a president to be impeached down the line. If you don't impeach a deputy president, I tell you, it becomes hard as a society, as a democracy, to even contemplate impeaching a president. That's why this is very important, this motion of impeachment against Gachagua. But as usual, we dissolve in our tribal cocoons. Who is stolen more than who has stolen? Where does that take us? So if you have murdered 5 people and somebody else has murdered 10 people, so the one who's murdered 10 people is worse than the one who's murdered 5? It doesn't matter. People who are stealing from Kenyan must be punished. And it doesn't matter who is punished first. The bottom line is that you, who is still standing, your time will come. Your time will come. Josephine, please, let me finish. Your thumbs down doesn't count. You have your own views, I've got mine. This is debate.
Listen, Weston, just ignore those.
Yes, Chris.
Down. Ignore them, bro. They are just...
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So that is it. We can't say we want a country that works, but when the crunch time comes, we become ambiguous. We want both of them to go. But if I don't like both of them, I don't mind. At what time will this one go and the other one go? I don't mind. I know, but that at the end of the day, all of them must go and will go. So this ambiguity hides our moral depravity as a society, the things that Albert was talking about, moral depravity. We purport to be against corruption, bad governance, but in actual sense, we are just against individuals. We're just against individuals. We hate corruption because of the person who is benefiting or presiding over corruption. We hate bad governance because of the person who is presiding over bad governance. If it was just we hate it across the board, it would not matter who is doing it. So I think it's imperative that we appreciate our complicity in the kind of problems we are facing now. We've had an annulled presidential election. We need an impeached deputy president going forward. That's a trophy we need as a country. Then later on, we'll add another trophy, an impeached president. Look at South Africa. Thabo Mbeki was recalled as a president. It set a precedent. The guy who replaced him, Jacob Zuma, was equally recalled. And they're saying the current president, Ramaphosa, if he also goes against the law, they'll recall him. That's how you build a democracy. If you have never done something before, it's harder to do it down the line. So I think we must get that abundantly clear. And if you say Gachagua must go, it doesn't mean you support William Ruto. Secondly, let us not be like these so-called opposition people in Kenya. You know, our political landscape is weird. It's weird because it's only in Kenya where the so-called opposition people cannot cash in on factions and fallouts within the government. Suddenly, we don't have anything to do with the infighting. What do you mean here, the infighting? It's in the best interest when the government is imploding. You take advantage of that. How can you say that is their problem? It cannot be their problem. It is also your interest, in your best interest, that the government of the day collapses. And that's why they're in cahoots with the government, because they don't understand what opposition politics entails. The same thing with us as citizens of Kenya. What do you mean by an impeachment motion against the deputy president has nothing to do with you? So the Adani thing, the Shifa, the She-What, those things where do they emanate from? Do they come from outer space? It's the same people are fighting who create those conditions, who come up with those bills, who sell the country, who auction the country. So how can you ignore those people and say, no, let's focus on the airport? So the airport saga just dropped from heaven. It has nothing to do with the William Ruto and Gachagua and the infighting and the inability to govern and the inability to prioritize the interests of Kenya. So as long as they are there, that road will continue. So you have to focus on what they are doing. This is bad governance, and it's bad governance that constitutes the hub for all these things that we are facing: bad education, bad healthcare, bad roads, auctioning of the airport and infrastructure, corruption. Those things emanate from bad governance at the center. So it's not logically compelling to say that this impeachment has nothing to do with us. It has got everything to do with us, fellow countrymen and women. Everything. It's bad governance that constitutes the nucleus of everything else that has rendered our country dysfunctional. I think we should get that clear. Secondly, I hear people say Moi era is back. Moi era, where did Moi era go? The violence at the bombers of Kenya and the goons beating up people. Where did Moi era go? Where did it go? It didn't go anywhere. It's always been here with us. So that a mountain is dormant, it doesn't mean it is not active. We must get that clear. It may be dormant, but that mountain will erupt. It's not that it's dead. The volcanicity is not going to happen. The Moi era, the Moism, the Moi style of doing things did not end in 2002. It's always been here with us. The corruption, the tribalization of the state, the impunity, disregard for the rule of law, impoverishment of the people of Kenya, lawlessness, name it. These things have been here with us. Money, politics, these things have been here with us. They were there under Mwai Kibaki, under Uhuru Kenyatta, they're there under William Ruto. It's not true that the Moi era has come back, because it did not stop. It didn't go anywhere. So it's important that we also historicize things and we don't look for heroes in a system that is in totality decayed. I think it's imperative to appreciate that. So I'm saying this as I land. If we continue with this kind of reading, and Andrew was correct, Andrew was talking, where we also rally behind cult figures, we hero worship, we are intolerant to alternative views. You know, when somebody says something you don't like, you shout at them like goons at Bomas of Kenya. You can also be a goon on this platform. That's backward and it's retrogressive. What will happen is that it will hand William Ruto a second term. That kind of disorganization, it will easily hand him a second term. That's what I'm making it abundantly clear. And I'm sounding an alarm that we must do politics that is qualitatively different from the politics that these guys have been doing over the years. But if it's just a question of a game of musical chairs, you just want to rearrange the deck. Yeah, rearrange the deck. You want somebody else there, a young person who is maybe as corrupt, as tribal as William Ruto. You put another young person there who is as beholden to external interests as William Ruto. A young person there who has got no vision for the country. You have rearranged the deck. You have not changed anything. You just put a younger person, but that younger person in terms of thinking and mindset is not any different from senior people who came before that person. So it is imperative that we be cautious about the tribalization of the state that we are falling into. This tribalism thing, where people think it's in order for a deputy president to speak on behalf of his core ethnics. It's not right. It's not right. Especially in a democracy where we're talking about inclusivity, diversity. Every other vote counts, every other Kenyan counts. Why would we fight it in order for a deputy president to speak on behalf of an ethnic group? And we think it's just fine. No, he has got a right. Which right? So who is going to speak for the Maasai? Let me ask you. Who will speak for the Turkana? Who will speak for people in the coast region? Who will speak for Luos? Who will speak for everybody else? So they will demand their own deputy president. Where does that take us? It takes us to a genocide. Genocide. People who refuse to read history and what has happened. In places like Rwanda, politicians were speaking like this, about my people and my people, ethnicity and stuff like that. That's how they were speaking. Take time and read literature in those countries. It's there. And we think we're immune to those things. It's in order for just somebody who's been elected to a public office, President of the Republic of Kenya, to spew ethnic hatred and bigotry. And we say, no, it is within his right. Well, then you cannot have a warlord for a deputy president, can you? You cannot have an ethnic jingoist for a deputy president. Can you afford that? You cannot have an ethnic supremacist for a deputy president. So we must stop hypocrisy, fellow Kenyans. We must stop hypocrisy. If you hate corruption under William Ruto, hate corruption under Uhuru Kenyatta, hate corruption under Gachagua, hate corruption under Daniel Moi. If you hate tribalism across the board, it doesn't matter who's doing it. Hate it. I hate tribalism. It doesn't matter who is presiding over a tribal estate. I hate it, and I will have nothing to do with you. But what do we have? Yeah, we shift positions depending on who is in position and who is doing the rot, who is breaking the law, and who is what. I mean, how can you say William Ruto has stolen more than Brigadier Gachagua? How can you say something like that? So we become a society where we have no sense of morality. We have no sense of values. We have no sense of ethics. We only have a problem on who has stolen more. Goodness me. We can't afford that, can we? Our minds must shift going forward. If it does not shift, mark my words, William Ruto will best those who are opposed to him. And we will be surprised. What is it that hit us? These goons we're seeing at the Bomas of Kenya, that's a dress rehearsal towards the elections down the line. Those goons, they're not going anywhere. I yield, Chris. Thank you so much.
Hi, Chris.
Thank you very much. Now, Raz, I mean, you've been here for a minute now. The Nairobi, mute that mic. There's an order here that has to be followed. Raz, what do you have to say? You've been sending also a bunch of emojis here. What is it that you have to say? Raz G.
Hey, you menitoa rada. Anyway, I hope you're well, my brother. I think I'll avoid a conversation of giving, because there is a new norm in town of giving a lot of history and storytelling without giving us our present solution. Kenyan right now at the position it is, hatuna haja na historia, hatuna haja na maneno mingi. Sisi tunataka kujua tutahandle adui ambaye anaitwa William Ruto, tutamhandle aje. That one is very clear to me. Whoever has a problem with that, fine. Secondly, we've seen what has happened today. And whoever is here, ni member of ODM, this will go directly to ODM. ODM, as much as you are given a leeway to join the government, that is our oppressor, it is not an opportunity for you to continue propagating violence, because we know ODM believes in violence, ODM believes in anarchy. William Ruto was born and has been in ODM before he was chased by the same men in black that we saw at Bomas today. So this is just a continuation. If the country does not rally, I know so many people, I know individuals who are here who do not agree with Morara. It's fine, it's always fine. But let us always remember something. Our main and our problem in Kenya is led by somebody who is leading this administration, and is Ruto. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, where we agree, uko mbele, your opinion, na vile utaiput it, it's okay. But at the end of the tail end of it, we agree we have an enemy called Ruto. Now, our enemy Ruto will not be gotten rid now. Your status, how popularity, how the media has given you attention. And this one I'm speaking particularly on those people who have continued believing in Kasmuel. What today Kasmuel has portrayed, ameonesha ya kwamba yeye ni msaliti, and we have said it before and we said it kitambo, Kasmuel ni msaliti. And this sends a message to anybody that wants to portray himself as the savior of the movement. Na hii ndio kitu yenye tumesema always, wacha tukae leaderless. Today the government vile ilikuwa imejipanga through their surrogate ODM, because this is a function that is being controlled over the country to validate a process they know very well. They know the outcome. They have already decided, but since they want to make it look like there was public participation, they brought in ODM. Kidogo tu nikate hizo. They brought in ODM, and that's why I'm addressing ODM as a party. Kasmuel, ODM will not help you. Only ODM today, what ODM has done today, it has only killed your political ambition. Na mimi naongea nikiwahisi. Kama unajua wewe si mwanaharakati wa revolution. Revolution is not defined by fame. Revolution is not defined by media attention. Revolution is men and women of the revolution are tested. They are tested by the activities of the day, by the government. Bado serikali hajamwaga pesa. Some of you hamjamwagiwa pesa hapa. Will you stand? If these spaces are not there, some of you here, tumejuana kwa sababu ya hizi spaces. I came to know about Josephine on space. All of you, kuna watu hapa tumejuana kwa sababu ya space. This government ikiamua leo hakuna space. Will you go on with the revolution? You need to ask yourself that. And that one has been answered. The likes of Kasmuel were only given a platform by this space. They became like the face of it. The question, will you be able to be compromised? Lazima ujiulize hivyo. Kwa sababu kuna watu hawajui wako kwa. This is a war. This is not a side show. You see platform, it was so hardening. Your own brother, mwenye muna purport to be in the same movement. You are sitting in a platform where your brother is beaten with chairs. Na wewe umekaa pale unacheka, and then when given the platform, you don't even condemn that action. And you want us to believe we are in the same boat. Those are the traitors. We will call out. Na wale wenye pia wamepewa opportunity kwa this platform, you coin yourself in such a way, you want to coin the message as if at the end of the day we cannot tell whether you are are you advocating for a revolution? How do you want us to remove Ruto? Unatu confuse hapa na maneno mingi tu mzuri, but at the tail of the end of it, we don't know what you have spoken. Unaelewa? This hypocrisy has to end. Kama wewe ni a revolution and you have decided William Ruto has to go, give us a clear roadmap. A clear roadmap. Don't coil about if the politicians have conspired to suspend the constitution. Na wameamua wataiba kwa sababu wanajua process vile itakuwa, they will get away with it. Why are you as a Kenyan sitting pretty comfortable waiting for the constitution way of getting William Ruto out of power? I can tell you here, because I believe in the revolution, William Ruto will not be gotten rid of power through the ballot. We have to understand that as a nation, we have to continue fighting, and we have to believe we can get rid of William Ruto out of power before 2027. William Ruto has already conspired with the opposition, an opposition that is already able to sponsor violence. You've seen it in Bomas today. How do you expect to handle that? It is time we rallied. If we have decided, and we should tell Morara this, Morara, the moment kwanza hold, let us read the mood of the people. Kwa sababu wame realize they cannot compromise you. Let us help Morara if it is in structuring his security to structure security. But when we laugh, we sit down and laugh. When we sit down and allow this kind of anarchy, and we allow this kind of anarchy, this kind of disorder yenye imefanyika pale Bomas to go unpunished, then we will be giving these people the leeway to do anything to us. Kitu yenye as I learned, please, hakuna haja ya maneno mingi. Kama umepewa platform, wacha kutupewa maneno mingi historia. William Ruto knows history. These people know history. They have read history. We want the current solution to our current problem. Our problem is William Ruto. We will not go back and read history, what happened. We know how, let us come up with solutions zenye tunaweza deal na William Ruto. Na William Ruto atakuwa dealt the revolution way. Thank you.
So, from Ras, I see now why you're so frustrated. In Nairobi, I will kick you out. Please, some respect that mic. I see why you're so frustrated when. So, Ras, you just said that dawa ya moto ni moto.
Can I finish, please? Kuna call ilikuwa imekam. Just have a minute, please. You can let me do that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I go ahead. Now, my brother, the reason why I insist here that we have to have a common unity ambayo ni moja. For this particular moment, let us not focus on our differences as a movement. Everybody is tired. The health system in this country are not working. Education system are not working. Gachagua issues with Ruto right now is none of our problem. It is none of our problem. And if this administration want to validate, want to use public participation as a way of Bastambi's Gachagua's exit to government, then the loud message yenye tutasema huku nje ni ya kwamba both of them need to go. Usitulete story ati hapana nini, it is not anchored on the law. If Gachagua has to exit, because we know both of them are thieves, we cannot get rid of a pickpocket and leave the main thief. We cannot do that. If they have to go, let them go, all of them. So this idea ya kupitia huku na huku, and that is the message that I think Morara wanted to display there. Wacha nilanda hapo juu hata nitakasirika zaidi.
Manze, teka kiglass kia maji ukunywe, because hasira nayo haitasaidia, but working together maybe we can. Now, now the next 4 speakers will be in this order. I'll start with Josephine because they said ladies first. Then I'll go to Ward. I'll just call it Ward. Then I'll go to Nairobi, then Justice for All, and then Eliza. So, yeah, in that order. Josephine.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Yeah.
Good evening, fellow countrymen and the women of this country. I also want to appreciate Andrew Kibe for hosting this space. Fellow Kenyans, I want to put this to every one of us very clear. Whatever has happened today is an act that needs to be condemned in the highest order possible. Why would such a thing happen? And even to my shock, a whole MC holding a microphone, shouting, saying that's the way to go, that's the way to teach people lessons, and that's an employee of the government busy making such noise when somebody's being battled with the chairs and everything. Fellow Kenyans, if this is the way to go, Ruto has just decided to reinstate war between the Kalenjins and the Kikuyus, the way he did it in 2007, and I'm not scared of saying that. If Murara is not going to get justice, people will divide themselves accordingly, and the people are going to face this nation. This nation will face it up. That's not the way to go. Second, you cannot afford to fight with younger people. You can choose to fight, but you have to pick the battle you want to fight. Ruto will be telling him not once, not twice, not thrice. His battle between him and the Gachagua is none of our business. And it cannot be a reason for us to be wasting time while our health is being sold, while our airports are being sold, while our education is being sold, and our youth are being killed. That's something we cannot take as a nation. And if somebody feels that you are here to defend them, you are here to think that Gachagua needs to be impeached, I think the first person we need to impeach is Ruto himself. And if they have to go, they have to go, both of them. We don't care if a vehicle falls down. Actually, it's the fault of the driver, not the fault of the conductor, my friend. So that's why I kept on showing you them down. It's not because I'm siding with Gachagua, but the truth in Kwamba, the truth of the matter is, get it right. Ruto is the driver, and you cannot just cause an accident and tell us it's because the conductor was speaking to you. That's nonsense. Nobody will ever take that. Wherever you go to a driving school, you are taught the right thing to do. And you are always told you are the sober driver in the road. So when we gave Ruto to be the president of this country, we told him he was the sober driver. So any other side shows, we are not going to take that. The other thing, fellow Kenyans, what Ruto is doing is deliberately delaying the fixing of the IEBC so that he will extend time. When 2027 comes, he will say that actually the officers are supposed to be in office for more than 2 years for them to validate an election. So he will be increasing his period by default. And we should not accept this. We need to come back to our feet, fellow Kenyans, and stand firm and push for each and everything now to be put in place. We need to recall the MPs who doesn't seem to know what they are doing for the Kenyans. How does impeachment of Gachagua has to do with us while people are dying because they cannot afford dialysis, because they have been introduced to SHA and the insurance are not working for them anymore? What does Gachagua impeachment has to do with that? Priority number one, we cannot afford to sell our health to anyone. Whenever you accept your health to be taken by anyone, you have actually killed yourself, because you are going to become a slave of that person now and forever. Because anything that you want, you will always have to go to him, so that you have to beg and beg and beg. We cannot be beggars in our own country. This is our own country. The other thing is that Ruto is not the only educated person in this country. We have very many people who can be leaders in this country and who can even lead better even 3 times, 10 times better than Ruto. And I am not ashamed of saying that. Neither do I have fear or contradiction. So whoever told Ruto is the only sole thinker in this country, is the only person who can lead in this country and make decisions as lies to him. Let Ruto know the truth. The truth is that we are Kenyans, we are educated, and even if we do not have PhDs and masters like the way he has, the truth is we have masters and PhDs by birth, whereby we can lead the country better than how he's doing it. So the truth is we are not going to tolerate to see Ruto expose our country to war, to see Ruto expose our youth and our fellow countrymen and women to destruction as we watch. Everyone has seen this man who has been trading, a 75-year-old man, crying because he cannot access dialysis because simply Ruto has introduced silly and stupid thing without reasoning and without thinking of what we deserve as Kenyans. Fellow Kenyans, we are not begging to be Kenyans. We are here, the country belongs to us, and if we have to split the country into two, let it be. We are the majority after all. 75% we are taking the lead. Let evil be on the other side. Can we stand firm and go for what is rightfully ours? We cannot afford to take curses because of somebody like Ruto, who is actually exposing our parents into death as we watch. We are not going to sit and watch him kill our parents who have chronic diseases which need to be managed, and now he has denied them services. Fellow countrymen and women, a time has come. We stand up for what is right, and we also put priorities right, because Ruto is not going for priority, he is going for what he thinks is better for him. A time has come, we stand firm, and we lead him in which direction and what's priority and what's not priority, and what is primary and what is secondary. A time has come, and the time is now. I want to quote Mekatiliwa Menza, those years of the colonies, and I'll keep on quoting her as many times as possible, because I am in Mombasa, I belong to Mombasa, and I will always, she's my role model, Mekatiliwa Menza. She said one thing to Mwanja wa Mondori: kama nyinyi wanaume na machifu wa Afrika mumeshindwa kupigana na mkoloni, chukueni maando mufae, mutupatie vinyasa, tutoke tupigana na wakoloni. And that's what the same thing I'm saying. Kama fellow Kenyans, tumekosa mtu wa kuongoza, that we go and instruct Ruto out of the State House. Personally, I will be willing to do that. And if we blow the whistle, let's get out, go and instruct him from our State House and tell him, you have to follow the priorities, or you step out together with your Gachagua and give us room. We have a better leadership in our country. Let's focus now on the IEBC. Within the next 1 month, we should be having IEBC in place, guys. With the pressure, no compromisation, no nothing. Let it be focused now on actually setting IEBC. Fellow countrymen and women, I could have talked with a lot of furiousness, but I'm trying to say, let's feel the pain. Don't allow yourself to be made a slave by somebody who is trying to steal your health. When somebody steals your health, automatically that person has finished you. Mtu akikuibia afya yako hamekumaliza, because there's no end day. When you are about to get sick, the sickness knocks at your door and tells you you'll be coming tomorrow, prepare. So Ruto he knows the way, he knows how to bring us down, and he knows how to vandalize us. And we should not accept that. We should not allow that to happen. Let's go back to NHIF and let's support NHIF to be amended to fit everything else which was left out, and we have NHIF serve our nation. Thank you so much, and may God bless you, fellow countrymen and women. I really appreciate for you listening to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Josephine, for that submission. I saw Andrew Kibe coming in. Kibe, do you have anything to add before?
Right. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I want to say for sure, am I right to speak?
You're already speaking anyway. Go ahead.
All right. I'm sorry. It has been exemplary discussion, but I want to take cause in giving my opinion. What I want to say We do not have a country, for sure. That is an observation made by the majority of the youths. But be reminded that revolution is invasive. It is not as polite as you might take it. You cannot go to the street shouting against the oppressor, thinking that they will listen because they have something to lose against you. We do not have a just judiciary. Our judiciary system is diagnosed with leprosy. They are paralyzed. They are rotten. They are only against the poor, the oppressed. Our oppressor is using the judiciary. But for that, we have also seen some of our youths or top activists who are hypocrites at some point, hijacking the mood of the youths who are angry for revolution. When they see to a point where we are agitated to the peaks of getting what our results or estimates are, they run to the top to hijack the conversation, to go in bed with the government of the day. We should not subject our discussion to a point where we are angry with the individuals like His Excellency Gachagua or Ruto. We have enough problems as a country. We should not discuss whether Gachagua is going home or not. All of them are going, and that should not be repeated. All of them are going. So if a political party, for example, they mentioned ODM, it is their culture. I am from that nation, I know. It is their culture. They have always thought that hiring goons when you least expect it is winning politics. You cannot win politics by hiring goons, because at the end of the day, you only hire goons which is at your pocket, wale ambao unaweza walipa. But you find that these goons are attacking the majority of individuals that is of large number to them. We must be violent. I'm not inciting anybody. If we mean to do our revolution in this country, we have to be violent. That is not incitement, because you cannot fight a police that is brutal, killing innocent people, then you go home, your brother is dead. Tomorrow, even if you are 100% charged, you are going to be down. Utakuwa na uoga, umeingiziwa uoga, kando yako kuna goons infiltrating, kuna wengine wanasema wana protect biashara, mtu hata akona slippers, ni street, ni mtu tu wa jua kali hivi. Siku ingine anapewa 1,000 anaenda kulinda biashara yenye sio yake. Biashara gani? And we know the business of these corrupt individuals. We have to be violent, whether you want it or you don't want it, whether it is inciting. Even these conversations, this is a daily conversation that is hosted here by Andrew. All the time it is infiltrated by the National Intelligence Service. So you should not fear to speak. Even if they are going to add infiltration into the demonstrations, we should know who we target. You cannot kill a tree by cutting down the branches. It will grow up into a bush. You have to uproot the tree. Let's take it this way. For a house that is invaded by rats, a rat can never believe that other animals can find their food without stealing. So if you believe that the system is rotten to a point that we can't find good people, we have good people. It is only you and the people you have eluded who are bad. We have a country that we can restore, but we are not going to restore this country peacefully because it has been tried by peaceful means several times. We do not have a constitution. The only constitution is subjective to the oppressed. It is a tool against the oppressor. Bungei, just the acting AG, can now not confess to the public or cannot present to the public about the abductions, and the matter goes silent that way. Politics is also tactical. You cannot just wake up, travel in illusion, and think that by speaking a lot of words, you now know politics. It is analytical. You have to drive point by point and see the pattern in which you wave your things. It is something that is read. You have to learn it. So through the politics terrain, there are ups and downs. These people have also studied. They don't sleep. They spend sleepless nights to find ways to counter the public, the hostile public. What I want to tell you, we must start with the smallest representatives we have, MCAs, their credibilities. These are the first people to bring down. We must recruit individuals from the ground that can impeach our. In fact, we should wake up and find that our MCAs are called off. Then we go to our MPs. Then we elect people who can. If, for example, if we have our say a sample of constituency in Nairobi, we call off the MP, for example. Then we recruit individuals that we are hopeful for their integrity. That is the first procedure for diagnosing the problems that we have in the country. But thinking that Ruto is now going to be elected out, my friend, up to date, hatuna IBC. Na bado unapelekwa, unasunguzwa na Gachagua. Hapana, Gachagua haendi mahali. I am very sure, haendi. But if we are ruthless, we are going to rehabilitate this country. We are going to restore the dignity and the justice that we should have as a country. Without saying much, because there is a lot to say, I have to give other people opportunity so that we see on how to contemplate on the matters that are affecting us within the country. I'm glad I have opportunity. Andrew Kibe, tell these people that I'm Wedigilando, just like I said last time. Yeah. So thank you. Next speaker.
Thank you. Now, the next person that will speak will be Gitch Boy. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this name properly. Then after Gitch Boy, I'll go to Justice for All, and then Faith, and then Eliza, and then Faye. I'm a Faith. I'm out. So, Gitch Boy, go ahead. And if you're not ready, then go ahead. I can't hear you if you're talking. Gitch Boy. Nope. Now, Justice for All, go ahead.
All right. Appreciate that. Thanks, Chris. And I'll just make my submission probably in 3 small steps. I'll make an exception observation of the submissions that have already been made by these great patriots. I will take a stand on the impeachment, and I'll probably make a proposition of what I think, in my opinion, we need to do to continue getting better as a country. Let me begin by being very clear that we should not entertain violence, even in spite of the violence that we have faced really during the protest and everything that we've tried to do. I would be very careful to use that as a tool in the current dispensation, because it's leading to loss of lives, and we don't have a very civilized government that is going to respect us, and they result into killing, and we don't want to see anybody lose their lives, though in battles of this nature a lot can happen. I know there's been very strong sentiments, I think, offered by, I want to believe, the 3 of the other speakers that have gone forth. In my opinion, I feel like they almost fell into this trap of now moving away from the clarion call of saying we are tribeless, partyless, leaderless, and all that kind of stuff. But I think the continued perpetuation of the label that a particular political party is maybe called ODM. That is their brand. That's what they do. They want to kill people, and that's what they are. I take great offense to that because then we don't hold individuals that perpetuate this kind of evils against the movement that is being built, that is supposed to be devoid of, parties and stuff like that. Then we end up continue with that label that is indeed been one of the dividing factors. We saw quite a lot happening. The incident with Morara is quite unfortunate, and I think we all must condemn it. Though we saw, of course, the exercise being halted in Nakuru. We, of course, bonfires in Nyeri. We saw all these kind of things happening. But of course, the one for Bomas was a little bit more prominent, and I think we all have to stand in solidarity to condemn that. But I will be a little careful in probably calling for some level of civility in trying to advance what we are moving forward with. My second level of my submission is the issue of the impeachment. That impeachment really, it's an extreme distraction that I find it to be causing extreme chaos, instability, political instability, because there are people that only know, especially our political leaders, who can only thrive in chaos. And any level of tranquility and level of peace, really, they don't know how to operate in that environment. But we are being drawn into it because and this is limited observation, is that I think there is a bigger destruction and economic in nature that I think the country is facing. And therefore, the easier path is to take us through this issue of now trying to have people, and I did take time to listen to people who gave their speeches in different, forums in the country, and the aspect of Usiguse Murima, whatever that is, it came out very strong from some parts, and my thinking then is, if we are united in solidarity that this is a defective, this is a fraudulent, this is a failed regime, I think putting the pressure on them and holding them accountable would be a better route to take, as opposed to of a people, as one colleague here presented, that who can not even themselves account for their own wealth, if that were the case. These are people who have inflamed all these kind of things in the country that has divided us. I would say that the impeachment of Gachagua, in my opinion, I would take the distraction part, that you are being distracted, so that something that is of great importance to the country, we don't focus on that. And then guess what's going to happen? Then obviously the Gen Zs from Nyeri will start feeling like we need to defend our person. And then maybe the Gen Zs from the Luo Nyanza will feel like, now that we have Raila in and ODM, we have to go and support the impeachment. And then the Gen Zs maybe from Western, they will feel like, if maybe this person is impeached, maybe Mudavadi will come in. This level of division is really coming in to make us not realize that they have to take collective responsibility. Where am I coming from with this, Chris? I don't know if there is any of us who didn't know that Gachagua was this kind of a person even before the elections. So if anybody is trying to really deceive us that this person has just become corrupt, has become tribalist, has become what he is, a loose talker, in the last 2 years, I think then we are dealing with a very interesting society. For me, he was put there to do exactly what he has done. They defended him because when his billions were being questioned and the many accounts that were opened, they defended him as a witch hunt from the previous regime. When he was going to the mountain to really bring the votes and using that kind of a divisive language, we defended him because that's when we wanted those votes. All of a sudden, now is a tribalist, is this and this and this and this. Now, my opinion, I don't think we need to feed Ruto's machinations and everything he's trying to do to achieve that. Now, last thing, I would think that even as we continue to evolve and grow in what we are doing as a country and the kind of movement that we are building, three things that I would suggest that we need to think about. The issue of staggering our elections need to really be considered very strongly. Where we are going to have elections, separating the presidential elections from other elections in a way that if after 2 years, like now we are at 2 years, we are able to assess maybe the party in power and see if this is people we want to continue with for the next remaining half of the term. The president can run for his 5 years, but we should have some other elections held in between to kick out that party that is really has misled the country out of power at midterm. Number two, and probably I will end with that, I think it's time to start thinking strongly on how to start also voting for issues, not just voting for leaders. Because I felt that if we started getting to a point of having a way of bringing these issues to the people and ask them, vote if you want Adani, vote if you want this. And if the members of parliament pass these laws and these people pass, we should have an opportunity to recall such kind of laws and subject them to a vote. If we subject them to a vote, let this thing happen by the voice of the people. Even if it's some type of taxes or whatever it is, let's start having the voice of the people and also have the ballot so that we can speak in a way that these people are going to listen, other than trying to tell us you elected us to go and represent you, but they know what they're doing. They are going to come back again and lie to us and buy the votes from us. But at all this, I think we have to continue moving forward together. Let's not be divided. Let's remain as one people fighting for justice for all. May God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that amazing submission. That was from Justice for All. Now, the next one is Francis. Go ahead, Gitch boy. Go ahead. What is it that you have to say?
Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, at first I had the first time I had a connection problem, but now I'm back. First of all, I'd like to address about this regarding Gachagua. There is no way you.
Hello. Yes.
There is no way you're going to tell me that you're going to impeach Gachagua because they claim what they are claiming is he's a tribal bigot. Let me ask you a question. For the permanent secretaries in this country, I can say 80% of the permanent secretaries in this country, they're from the Kalenjin. Then you're coming here to tell us that this guy is a tribal bigot. Who are you then? If the current PSs we have in this country, the parastatals are run 90% by the Kalenjin. That is one. Two, Ruto in one way or the other, he's trying indirectly to push his terms ahead, because you can't tell us in 2 years still you don't have commissioners in IEBC. There are regions, there are sub-counties, there are wards, sorry, not sub-counties. There are wards in this country that are not represented simply because when the MCAs were impeached, they were thrown out of their wards. But how can you go to a by-election yet at the same time there are no commissioners, there are no IBC commissioners? Then this Ruto guy is telling us, they are saying they want to impeach Gachagua, which is okay, but you should also be impeached simply because you are the boss, you're the head. If you're telling us Gachagua is stealing 1 billion, How much are you stealing yourself? You're stealing more than $1 billion. That is one. That is the fact. Secondly, this Ruto guy, kazi imekuwa tu ni I can say hide and seek with Kenyan people. Alianza na hii yenye ameleta juzi isha, I don't know, whatever. Hata sidhani inaweza register anytime soon. Because in this country, I can say around 25% of people depend on NHIF for dialysis. Right now, if you go for dialysis in hospital, you're requested to pay an upfront of not less than 10,000. And the funny bit is, people who go for dialysis, they do it 3 times a week. So tell me, where are we heading as a country? Are we really heading anywhere as a country? Or are we just roaming around, thinking we have a country which is gone? Right now, wameleta history ya impeachment na nini, na makaratasi zenye hata watu wana sign, if you look at them very well, they don't have, what is it called? A code. Pale mwisho na kufaa kuwa na code from the government. But hii haina. This is literally, ni imeenda ikatolewa kwa cyber, ndivyo ikue released. Yani, hata, ni kama tu ameenda tu akatoa photocopy for people to sign. Which means they already have the forged signatures and they're going to present a fake thing to the government. That is the fact. Either way, like it or not, Gachagua will be impeached. And secondly, this guy is looking for someone who will be a puppet. Mtu mwenye atakuwa anasema akisema hivi ni hivyo. Simply because you are not elected. The one who was elected, he is gone. So, what kind of government is this? Where are we heading as a country? Just sit down with yourself and ask yourself, is this the country you'd like your kids or my kids to live in the next 20, 30 years to come? Where are we heading? We are heading nowhere. Yani, ametoka kwa walimu, kuvuta walimu, nini, tena amekuja, ameingia kwa Mkenya wa kawaida. Currently is even people, the mama mboga wenye alikuwa natetea hawawezi fanya biashara ya mama mboga simply because if the motion yenye imepelekwa bunge ikienda through hiyo ya vegetables and everything, my friends, ikienda through, mwenye anauza kwa soko, mama mboga wa kawaida, mwenye anauza sukuma, they will be required to have a certificate which they will be paying. What kind of government is this? Ask yourselves. Thank you.
Chris, I was with this guy all the way.
Yes. Hello.
Until when he was talking about the Mama Mboga paying a license. And I'm like, okay, I don't see the problem with that, but what are we really pissed off about? I asked this question at the beginning of this conversation 3 hours ago. I don't know whether you guys remember that. We cannot be pissed about everything. We cannot just be talking about everything all the time and all the things that are gone wrong. What are we really pissed off about? Or are we just pissed off because we are pissed off? Is this just something else for us to fight about? Because now, look, here we are again, the same place we were in June, talking and talking and talking and talking. But Kasmuel has gotten the bag. Kasmuel seems to have found the right people with the right resources. Morara seems to have found those people as well. You, kazi yenu ni kuongea tu. Sisi tutabaki hapa kuongea. Na hakuna mtu tunaongelesha, tunaongea into the air. We are crazy. There's something wrong with us, Chris. There's something extremely wrong with us. Yeah, there's something extremely... Because this is like... it's like masturbating without coming. Completely useless. It doesn't make any sense. Because Because that's what we did the last time when we talked ourselves blue. Everybody complained, especially Josephine, and she came and she complained and she ranted. She said all the shit that she said, and then she disappeared. No. This time around, I'm not going to stand for it the way I stood for it last time, and I let that nonsense continue for that long when everybody was coming here just to push the same narrative. No, there's no movement here. There's no ranting here. This is not a political space. We are just asking what is happening today. Who is behind all this? And we watch this from a distance. We don't need to get so involved all the time. We're so involved. It's like Casmuel is our brother. Oh my God, I can't believe he's changed. No, these are politicians. They've always been politicians. Casmuel was probably a prefect in school. Morara, the same. These guys have been trying to get into this system all their life. We will never understand what they're doing. We can just watch from the sidelines and enjoy. But getting so worked up to a point of, I want to change this country. No, you don't. There is no history. There is no evidence of you wanting to change this country for the better. We're just jumping on whatever is hot, which is now Morara getting a chair to the head. Oh, I can't believe they're doing this. They're going to burn down our country. How are we discussing Ruto and Gachagua splitting up? While when they came together, it was a secret. Us guys didn't know. They went into a room and they showed us the white smoke. Oh, Gachagua now is going to be the deputy president. And now they went around the country doing all this shit. We are not involved in whether they stay together or not. I don't see why we are legitimizing that nonsense. How are you taking sides? We should be watching it the way you watch WWE. Why are you taking sides? Why are you getting carried away? Why are you annoyed? Because I want us to get rid of that nonsense. I want us to be able to have real discussions where just because I don't agree with you doesn't mean we can't have that conversation. But right now we're going in the same direction where unless you agree that Gachagua or Ruto must go, then there is no other conversation. I am tired of being played. I'm done. I don't want to be played no more. I'm so tired, bro. I'm so tired because these are the same guys who they whip up your emotions. You get so involved in it, and then the next day he tells you, "Oh, by the way, Raila is not such a bad guy." You know that, huh? It's not such a bad. In fact, he's about to become the boss of the AU. He's not such a bad guy. But the other day you are saying he's an evil man. The same Ruto and Gachagua, you heard them talking about Raila. Bro, good words. The only words that are given to somebody when they are dying. These guys gave him his flowers in real life. The two of them came together to give him his flowers. And you can't believe that these are the guys who are talking like that about each other. Stop being stupid. Okay? All of you who are listening to me, stop being thick. We're being thick with this nonsense, this ranting that we do here on a cyclic basis. Every now and then it's like we're on our periods. And something happens, we sit here and we rant. No. I don't know whether you get what I'm saying, Chris. It is so boring. It is so because the last time when we were here, we tried building something. We couldn't. We couldn't build anything. We couldn't. We can't. I tried. I gave it my best shot, my guy. I gave it my best shot. I was like, I now see the folly in our ways is that we don't want to work. We just want to complain. So even Americans and the rest, when you see them having their spaces, those are spaces to complain. People love those kind of spaces. They love them. So now you want to transform this space into a complaining space? No. I'd rather remain with this 100 people listening every day. We can discuss our own nonsense than get caught up in this bullshit. No, not again. No, not again. I was played last time. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Oh yeah. So
because if Chris, look at these people. These are people who don't come here generally. It's not that they don't know this place exists. They don't come here generally. It's just that when they have something, we are like a whorehouse. When something happens out there, they come, oh, let's go spit on Kibe's on Kibe's face. I'm tired of you people. Let me just tell you that. I'm tired of that nonsense of you ranting and ranting and ranting like I'm not your God, I'm not your father, I'm not your president. Go rant at the gates of State House. Go there. Go tomorrow. Go to the streets. Go to Uhuru Park and rant there. Me, I'm tired of this, bro. I'm so tired. This is not edifying. It doesn't build my spirit at all. I live here with more problems than I came with because now I've learned all this new useless information that I can do nothing with. Oh, did you know that this? Do you know? Now I'm worried about Adani. What the fuck do I give a shit? Why should I give a shit about Adani? If these guys want to sell the country, sell. When us guys are ready to burn the country, we shall burn it. But for now, can we stop this nonsense? We are not really annoyed, are we? Kasmuel was not really annoyed, was he? Murara does not really want good governance, does he? And Hanifa is not 100% honest, is she? We are lying to ourselves with this bullshit. There's nothing we're doing here. It's not constructive. It's not going to help anybody. Nobody gives a flying fuck. And I'm not saying this to break your hearts. I'm just telling you, we are going nowhere with this. Look for a new way of doing things. This one is not going to help you. The people that you have put your hope in are not real human beings. These are actors. Real human beings, they look like you and I don't even know. We don't even know about public participation. Are you with me?
Bro, you've decided to hold their hopes and it's like a bubble, and you've just decided, wacha nikuje na sindano ni dunge hii kitu mara moja. All the ranting, bro. Let's finish this conversation.
Who are you ranting to? Yes, who are you ranting to? It feels good, but you're like a woman. Who are you ranting to? Me as a man, why am I ranting? Who am I ranting to? We can have discussions about what we're doing with our lives, Chris, you and I. We do that all the time. We're always sharpening one another. Hey, do you have this? Could you do this? Can you change this here? That makes sense. It works for me. But this ranting, and we're ranting to no one. Who are we ranting to? You see, there's no lesson here. Everybody has the same script. So nobody's learning something new. It's all the same script. We all know about corruption. We all know about this. But now, we have come to talk. What are we talking about today? About the way Gachagua should not be impeached? About the way we should impeach Ruto and Gachagua at the same time?
And Moses Wetangula becomes the president.
who is putting food on your table today? Because if you're not at Bomas of Kenya receiving money for worrying about politics, then you and I are losers. We're a bunch of losers, and there's not, bro. And the only person who's benefiting right now is Chris and I here because of the coffee that we're receiving. But beyond that, this is masturbation without an end. There is no ending. I saw George come running. George, what's happening, bro?
You know, for the longest time, Andrew Kibe, our country has missed something, but we didn't know what that thing was. If you look at the society, the way it's set up, there is the super rich, and then there's the super poor. Then there is the middle class, then there is the upper class. And then there is the working class. And there are those barely making it to the middle class. The only thing that has been missing in our country, that is true to South Africa, that is true to America, is the nigger class. And lo and behold, now we have the nigger class. The Gen Zs are the nigger class of Kenya. And there is this misconception that Gen Zs think, and I have heard it so many times, they think when they turn 30, they will stop being Gen Zs. No, you'll be Gen Zs for life. This is your curse to carry on to the grave and also to transmit to the next generation. So let me explain the nigger class. Let's start with South Africa. South Africa was inundated by fatherlessness. And so, inevitably, they created a whole class of fatherless sons. And their evil mothers weaponized them to tear down their own country. It's evident now. You cannot turn on a TV channel in South Africa and not see the evidence of that. Weak, young men weaponized by their single mothers to destroy their own country. Where has the same been perfected? In America. For the same exact reason, like America is the template of the nigger class. This generation of black men that were raised without a father, weaponized by their mothers to destroy their own communities, their own societies, their own country. You see them activated at every turn. All you have to do is dog whistle. This is what we are destroying now. This side, they are at the ready, like the National Guard, to drop everything and be activated to destroy that which they were weaponized by their mothers to destroy. We saw them during the Black Lives Don't Matter movement in Portland, Oregon, and Chicago, and Austin, Texas. Kiba, you are aware. You saw the police station. It is surrounded by a 12-foot fence. The police station. It was fenced off during the Black Lives Don't Matter movement. And so you see, and you see this is very true. They destroy themselves. And what the white man learned is we have to keep these people very busy if we are going to do anything meaningful to our country. So we have to continually manufacture some selective outreach that appeal to their anger continually so that we keep them busy there. So you see them rejecting Jesse Jackson during the Clinton days. You see them rejecting Al Sharpton in the last 2 decades. You see them now in today's world rejecting Kamala Harris. The most popular thread on Twitter was, I am a real black woman and I am not voting Kamala. They carried that shit all the way to the top of the charts. The MO is always the same. We are brainless and we are leaderless. And if any amongst us rise to the point of claiming to be our leader, we destroy that person. The niggers have never had a presidential candidate that has the promise of winning. Obama doesn't count as black. Obama was propped up there by white women. And it's not because of lack of trying. It's because they cannot stand any one of them winning. There is a very, very, very strong message by Vusi de Bekwayo. It's labeled, black people should not have, black people were not ready for freedom. Because anyone that rises after the freedom They drag him down. Every one of them. If you look at America, how long it took for them to have a U.S. senator, even in the most black populated poor states, they have had so many lower house MPs representing them in Congress. But a senator to serve for 6 years, they cannot agree on one. And that is the fixation that is happening in Kenya today. I just woke up to the same post of release Malala, release Billy Goat. Now the same template is saying unfollow Samuel. I don't know what Samuel has done because I have not taken my cup of joe. But I will find out soon enough in the course of the morning. But the MO is the same. Everyone who rises to a point of leadership, they shall bring him down. Every one of them. Morala's time just hasn't reached yet. But they will find that reason. This is why we are killing him. We loved him so much, we were about to die, but this reason here, he is out. We saw that when Caliph Cairo played the dance with them. And he soon realized he is playing with fire. Because now we have a full-blown nigger class in Kenya. South Africans have never rallied behind any one of them. Every leader that has come is the one that has been propped there by the white guy, including the very recent election. The current Maroposa, whatever that nigger's name is, would not have been able to form a government if it was not for the coalition with the white people's group. The only way he's going to turn the country around is because of the white guy. Yes, George is saying that. I want you to choke with the anger and internalize that anger right before you pass out. You are the problem, and the problem is you do not have a solution to the problem. Ladies and gentlemen, the nigger class is thriving in Kenya. The class of destruction, the class of jealousy, the class of indecisiveness, the class of if it's not me, no one gets out. The crabs in the bucket mentality. No, you cannot go up there. Come back here into this nigger misery of ours. Every time a Gen Z open their mouth, they have perfected the art of victimhood. Show me a Gen Z who doesn't open their mouth and talk as if they are a victim. Malala? His whole enterprise is based off of victimhood. That weak man's voice of we are victims of this and they are doing so bad to us. Guys, we need to come together. They stopped me from entering, but when I finally entered, then they stopped me from having the mic. They beat me with a chair. I am on the way to the hospital. Mr. President, put some male voice in that voice of yours. But no, we are in victim mode. Nikubaya, mambo ni mabaya. The economy is so bad. The nigger class is now finally here.
Hey, George.
You know that how you described it. Now it's like a doctor who does a diagnosis. You see, once a good doctor does a diagnosis, then every other person around the world will be told, oh, this good doctor did a very good diagnosis. And he saw that if you see something behaving like this, it's because it is like this. Now, once you understand that you're dealing with a nigger class, like you called it, because now it's very easy to deal with a nigger, because you know how a nigger behaves. You know how a nigger thinks. Once you know how once you are able to, it's called what? It's called profiling. Once you know the person you're dealing with, how they think, then it's very easy to deal with them. Then you're no longer a victim of that person, are you? And I've been wondering about this the whole time. I've been really struggling with it because I'm saying, who are these guys? How come they're not building anything? Who are these guys? They're just making noise to be included in the system or what? But now when I look at it, I'm like, okay. Now I see the whole game very clearly. Once you said the nigger class, I was like, okay, now I know. Because you cannot deal with those people. Those people are going to kill you. Every time they get a chance, they're going to kill you. It's just that we don't have guns in Kenya. You just imagine if we had guns in Bomas today. It's like the way you hear in Chicago, 40 people died today from shootouts. I mean, that level of violence that is around us, that is so quick, it is so skin deep. We are so... how would you find yourself there? You know, the day that I had gone to this restaurant and I met Sonko, and then I was involved in something similar to this nonsense. I don't know whether it was a day or 2 days later, George, when we talked. And you asked me, how did you find yourself there? And I was like, yes. I asked myself that question. That whole night, I retraced my steps, one after the other, to me finding myself there. And I realized, I now know where I made my mistake. I trusted another human being somewhere along the way. That's where I made my mistake. And especially these people that we're talking about. Bro, you didn't see our own president say, the Ford Foundation is behind this thing. And then the other day, what did you see him do? Saying, thank you very much, Ford Foundation, for this and this. Very interesting submission, George. Thank you for taking us out of our own imagination here. I'd even told Chris in the inbox, I told him, listen, we need to close this shit down because I don't want to hear this complaining anymore. It's not constructive. No, it doesn't help us. It does not edify us. I would rather we talk about real things. This one here is just, this one goes nowhere. Chris, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah,
do you have anybody else who wants to talk?
Yes, I do have one guy. He's been requesting here and he hasn't had a chance to say something. I'll start with I am Xavier. Go ahead.
Hey, hi, you Kibe?
Here we go. Go ahead.
Real good, yes. Kibe, you hit it on the nail. There is no revolutionary in Kenya. In Kenya, we are all opportunistic. We are waiting to get the chance to go and steal. And when you get Sonko is the epitome of corruption in Kenya. All governors are corrupt. All presidents are corrupt. I am corrupt. You are corrupt. There is no truthful Kenyan. We are all corrupt Kenyans, waiting to replace the corrupt president and become corrupt presidents. There is no Kenya here. We are all corruption. We are born of corruption. Kenya is corrupt. Not Ruto, not Uhuru, not you, not me. There has to be a new generation. I don't know. Not even the current Gen Z. Casmuel is waiting to be corrupt. Murara, corrupt. Bone of sin. All sinners. Nobody is going to save Kenya. We are all going down. Revolutionaries eat their own children. That's Jimmy Orengo. Jimmy can become president, a corrupt president. Kenya is born of corruption. We are all corrupt. Born by Kenyatta, the first corrupt president. We are all corrupt. Kenya is gonna go to its own extinction. Nobody is gonna save us. I'm telling you, there's no Kenya here. There's no country here. There's no politicians here. We are all corrupt. End of submission. Thank you, guys. Wait.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Xavier, for that final submission. Everyone else, I'll give you a couple of minutes just to give in your submission, then we get to close this conversation. Eliza Gitonga. Eliza? Yeah, Kevin Kibaki. KK. Kevin Kibaki. Now I have Nyamari. Yo, what's up?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, speak loud.
Okay, I hope I can be heard. So
Yep.
I was just I came in when IQ Watson was just wrapping up, and what he's saying is a very sad state of affairs. We have been made to be this way, and unfortunately, we have just accepted to be this way. The nigger class is a very sad state to be, and I don't know who is going to save us, but as he has said, nobody is going to save us. We just need to wake up, open our eyes, and probably do something. I'm not even sure of a revolution anymore, because the things that we are seeing happening, they're very, very sad, very sad. That was a painful injection from Watson. Big up.
All right. Thank you very much, Nyamari, for your submission. Now, Justice for All, you have 1 minute. Then we finish up this conversation. Justice for All. Do you have anything else that you have to say?
No, I appreciate all the leadership. I think it's been a great and good submissions. It brought out the diversity of the mindset that we have in the country at the moment, and also created an opportunity for people to really, vent or speak from their heart and all that. And I appreciate both of you for hosting and co-hosting. I believe that as we continue to talk as a country, but also bring different perspectives in, we get to know where we are and how we can learn from each other. And appreciate you steering it clear so that we have a respectful conversation. May God bless all of you, and thanks for everything.
All right. George, are you still here?
There is a quote somewhere, but I can't.
George, I want to ask you a question first before you give us your final submission.
Mm-hmm.
So, have you seen what's happening, Ama? Have you been able to catch up with the public participation?
I just woke up.
So you
know how old people are. They wake up when
So you don't have the info, all right? But there's been this whole public participation that was organized around the country to discuss the impeachment of Gachagua. And there's been all this uproar the whole day about the same. And now people are going to this. So the images we have today are the images of people in these meetings saying Gachagua must go, or this is not our business, or Ruto and Gachagua must go. That's what's happening. And then now Casmuel was hit on the head with a stool or a seat, something like that. He's a prisoner of war now. Are we going in the right direction? Because for me, the direction should be total destruction. Do you think we're ever going to get there?
Nobody is going to destroy anything from the outside. I think it was Nyakundi. Nyakundi just quoted something. I can find it real quick because I know how to find it. Nyakundi has said, no, let me go to my own replies. It's much easier. Something must be done very fast. Buge must be disbanded. Our MPs are a danger to themselves, Kenyans, and national security. If something is not done, the current Bunge will ban this country. Yeah, that last statement, I responded to it. Isn't that by design? I mean, who came up with testing the viability of the article of impeachment? Is it the people who are dissatisfied with their own particular leader? No. I keep saying over and over, we should have activated the article of impeachment on Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta as soon as he hit 24 months in power, the very first time he was elected. And all the subsequent times until we either fail for 10 years or succeeded eliminating him. But we did not have the appetite for that. But now, the article of impeachment is, the phone call is coming from the inside the house. All of a sudden now, the MPs, the system knows how to activate article of impeachment on a DP. All of a sudden. There was no mass protest anywhere of people's opinion that we should impeach Gachagua. No. It's coming, the phone call is coming from inside the house. So it's very naive of Cyprian to say something must be done very fast, Buge must be disbanded, our MPs are a danger to themselves, Kenyans, and national security. It is by design. You all have been looking for an explosion. I have bad news for you. The only thing you are going to get is an implosion. It's going to explode from inside. Once they are done with doing what they are doing, whoever those people are, they are going to burn the house down, whatever that house is. Your outrage is not required and it's not needed. What do they say? Non-participating player? What is the word? NPC? We don't have a role.
Yeah.
Is it NPC?
Yeah, it's NPC. Can you hear the rain, by the way?
Barely. I'm not using my hearing aid. I'm not using
NPC, non-participating character or something like that.
We are all NPCs. We actually overestimate our value in this system. We are not the dogs in the compound. Gen Zs, you are the dogs on the exterior peripheral fence. Your noise, your barking is just that, a nuisance. Got no bite. We have seen this movie being played before. We saw it with the original NYS. Kibe, you remember riding for a shilling with the Iveco. Were they called the Ivecos? The Nyayo bus services? When they were done with that program, it exploded from the inside. when they were done with KFC, KFA, Kenya Farmers Association, it imploded from the inside. They created KGGCU. Where is it now? Your participation is not required. It's not expected. It's not significant. Everything is going to happen as planned. You are just a spectator. If they did not rally you around when you were rioting the streets, demanding the protection of your parents from the financial bill, because that's what it was. The original Gen Zs were just these special privileged kids that were activated by their own parents, who are the actual corrupt rot in government ministries and departments to protect their interest. Their parents sent them to the streets to defend their interest. These new crop of Gen Zs are the wannabes. You want to be like the cool kids. But the cool kids are the ones Chungwa described. Riding an Uber with an iPhone and eating KFC later before I steal all of Otero's KFC chicken. Those ones were on the street to protect the interests of their parents because they know they live in neighborhoods their parents' salary could not have afforded. They went to schools their parents' salary could not have afforded. They live in a house that their parents' salary could not have afforded. They live a lifestyle that their parents' salary could not have afforded. So their parents told them, if you want this to continue, you have to go there and reject this thing because it's going to target us. And once the financial bill was defeated, they left in an Uber to KFC and count their wins. And then the rough rallied together by terrorist Hanifa and small boy Boniface Mwangi, now refilled the space like dirty flood waters because they also wanted to be cool. But the mission was done. The party was done that the cool kids had folded the party chairs. Now you are there confused, unsure what your mission is. And so you start eating each other. Oh, you brood of vipers. What was the question, Kibe?
Bro, there's nothing else in there. There must be something else, bro. You can't end at vipers, bro. There must be something else.
I mean, isn't that evident?
John. You brood of vipers.
Sorry, I got a phone call. Am I still alive?
Yeah, you are still alive, my guy.
So, bro, yes, the question was about Mr. Nyakudi's post. No, the MPs are not a danger to themselves, the country, and the security. No, they are really, really in charge. I mean, what happened to the Gen Z's effort of impeach the MPs? Where did that one go? You see, when the MPs want to impeach Gachagua, they are not asking you. They are not asking you. They are just activating the article. And then they rally you to do the dirty job. But when it's not the way they want, then they eliminate Malala or Morala, whatever his name is. NPC. That's what you all fuckers are.
Kibe, do you still have any more question for George?
No, I'm in shock, my guy. I'm in shock. Niko na alama ya mshangao, my guy.
Mimi nimebaki nikishtuka nikijiangalia tu nikisema okay, sasa hapa hivi nasema nini, because that was a good nail on that coffin.
We don't need to say much more than that. And let's wrap it up there, right there. Right there. Eh? Right there.
But before we wrap it, I just need to say something quickly. Mine is just to appreciate anyone who sends us the coffees. You can still send it. The number is right there. Because, that coffee goes a very long way. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening to us. And we'll catch up in the next space on Monday morning. Have an amazing one, you all.
All right, thank you. Thank you to Barry Guda as well. Barry sent me some 2 coffees. Eric as well sent me 2 coffees. Mishek Wawero sent me a coffee as well. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for being part of this. Always. Anyway, that was refreshing. It was extremely refreshing. Once we cut out the complaining, there's not really much more to say, is there? George, go ahead.
Do you remember that space you held on a Saturday, the Saturday before the general election in 2022? Do you remember? Was it 2022 or 2021?
Remind me.
There was that space you held on the Saturday before the election day. And that's when you introduced us to Diesel. We didn't know who Diesel was before that. It doesn't look like you saved that space, but in that space I said, it's either there is a peaceful outcome of this election or we go the genocide way. Those are very strong words. You have to remember me saying that. And then I said, if Ruto wins, his First Nation needs to dismantle the Kikuyu vote. Because we cannot have the outcome of every election dependent on a third of the voters that are the least informed, most disinformed group of people out there. They continually influence elections and give us bad leaders. You don't need to look any further than Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. It took 4 years of non-stop campaigning and camping in central Kenya for Ruto to get their vote. I said on that weekend before the general election, the First Nation of Ruto needs to dismantle the Kikuyu vote. Because that pandering to the Kikuyu voters is not sustainable. We should not subject any future elections, any other future elections outcome, on dependent on who pandered to the Kikuyu the most. So that is not sustainable. So that power needs to be dismantled. Where are we now? Simulima imeguzwa.
I was actually looking for our national anthem. I just couldn't get it in time. I didn't think you'd finish that quickly. I was like, man, you guys, I was so close. I was so close. I don't know whether you can wait. But
I had a question for George, though I'd already finished up my part.
Don't worry. Let's first enjoy the national anthem. I think this is the one, yeah? Can you see by the dawn's early light
So proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming.
It's not that one, huh? That's not ours. That's not ours. You know. Now that when George was talking, it dawned on me that Kenya is just one big fucking experiment. These guys are not consulting us. We have never, as the public, successfully impeached anybody. We have never. Look at the MCAs tried to impeach, they couldn't. You guys, that power that is concentrated at the top is too sweet for us to be consequential to it. All you have to do is
sorry, talking about the impeachment. When they tried to impeach the deputy governor of Kisumu, it failed. When they tried to impeach Waiguru, it failed. When they tried to impeach the Meru lady, Meru, several times, failed. But when they needed to remove Sonko, your input was not needed. When they needed to remove the Kiabu guy, the poorly dressed guy, what is his name?
Waititu.
He never even realized what hit him. It was swift, clean execution. Everything else fails because the phone call did not come from inside the house. And for those who are wondering why I keep saying the phone call is coming from inside the house, I'm referring to that movie, The Call. That girl, that 15-year-old girl that was house-sitting a rich doctor's home in an area by the lake. And she missed that bonfire event by other teenage kids. And she was home alone. And then there was an intruder. And then finally found out that the intruder was using the house phone that was calling from inside the house. So the phone call is coming from inside the house. When it came from inside the house, Sonko did not even know. Even today, Sonko still narrates how out of his senses he was when he signed the document to hand over Nairobi City to the military guy. Waititu is continually fighting battles in court. The glory of Kiabu governorship long gone. But the one that is coming from the genuine people, no, that's external. Non-playable characters. So this one of Gachagua, nobody consulted you. For a long time, you all also pushed back on the attempt to jump on the bandwagon. But here you are now, when they need you to agitate, when they need to divert you, like the selective outraged niggers that you are. Do you still want that Kenyan national anthem? I have it ready.
I thought you would just play it continually until we finish the show. Can you do that for us? Can you finish for us?
Tujenge taifa letu, ndio wajibu wetu. Kenya istahili heshima, tuungane mikono pamoja kazini.
I hope you understand that. I'm not saying this to disappoint you. I'm just saying, just enjoy the fight that we are about to witness. Okay, hold up, Joe. Hold up.
Calling you for balozis.
Where are my balozis, bro? Should I put my M-Pesa number there?
Yeah, 100%. You see, there is life going on here.
Luis, or is it Luis Atonga? What do you have to say today? And keep it brief.
Thank you, Kibe. Good evening, all Twitter Space X gurus. Thank you, Kibe, for hosting this tweet so that at least we can have something to talk about. Personally, I think what has just happened is a clear indication and confirmation from what some guys have been talking about and expressing their real issues, pertaining how they say that Samuel has been an imposter and being used maybe from a silent position from government side and working with some people. From what has just happened in Bomas, it is confirming, and it is also evident
but hold up, Luis.
Okay.
Because I don't think we've had an honest conversation since the revolution. Because everybody was in their feelings, so I was not able to hold you guys accountable for some of the bullshit that you guys keep propagating.
Okay.
So so just mute your mic. Let me put the question to you. So the game is the game. People appeared in front of you guys and nobody wanted to pick them up. Okay? So now you expect Kasmuel to wait for you guys. He was waiting. He kept asking, you guys support me. You guys don't have a plan. He's like, okay, fine. I can't stay outside here for too long. Gachagua must go. So he's not a traitor. It's just he's learned how to play the game. So why are you guys catching feelings now? You want to crucify Kasmuel?
Yeah, we've already gone past that part. If you did not take a stand and have your movement, now choose a course now. You need to be on a certain course by now.
I think he said that. Okay. Louis, go ahead.
Is the question directed to me?
You can answer it if you have an answer.
Okay, Kibe, it's not that we want to crucify Kasmuel, but you say there's something we refer to as psychological analysis of events and situation, how they unfold. So remember, people have been grapevine in the public domain that Kasmuel met Sylvanus Osoro and also met Mike Mbuvi Sonko. So since that day, people lost trust in the spirited fight for the Gen Z. So what is happening right now is just what somebody has just highlighted, that these politicians now want to split the Gen Z force movement. Either those who will side with Kasmuel and those who will side with Morara's side. But the truth remains that politics is always about interest. And as things stand right now, I would rather advise Kasmuel that Morara enjoys a bigger support base of the Gen Z. He has already aligned himself with the Gen Z because he has proved not to be a traitor. Depending with how this guy is being fighted, how people are fighting Morara truly depicts that this guy is also concealing.
Wait, Louis. So if Morara was to work with Gachagua, do you think you would consider him a traitor?
Okay, that depends with how I can also highlight or maybe argue my point. You see, I really don't know, because people are all talking about rumors. So rumors is something that someone cannot put as a basis of argument. So
No. If you can consider Casmuel a traitor for working with the government and saying Ruto must go. Gachagua must go. Then if Morara was to work with Gachagua, then even he would be a traitor. If that's the thinking.
Exactly.
Right?
Kibe, yeah, you see, Kibe, the other thing people need to bring home and understand that these people who are in the political arena, they are the one who feed you. They are the one who, somebody can say, these shopping malls are not going to be open from tomorrow. And you still pay the workers. You starve. I'm telling you, there are people who would say, we are putting a hold and you will starve and beg on your knees. Because this Morara, this Kasamo, they have to get some support from somewhere. People have not thought about that. There are people who will say, M-Pesa, I'm holding it. Even the schools, you take your children, I will not bring food there. They will starve. You'll be taking them, you'll be going to pick them from school. Because people have not thought the gravity of how interconnected some people have invested into people's lives. To say that we feed you, we say this, we own you. So if whoever comes to power, you have to bow down to these guys. So why fight their fight? Let them align who they want to align, and the course will go on.
Hello?
You get the point? Do you see that side of things?
Ivan, go ahead.
Or am I the only one?
No, you're the only one, my guy.
Can you hear me? You had called my name earlier.
Yeah, go ahead.
For me, I don't see it as a betrayal. Let me give you an example. If I pull up with a bottle of whiskey and my friend pulls up with a bottle of cognac and we spend 2 hours debating over which one is better, we'll still be drunk at the end of those 2 hours. We just went by it differently and we disagree on how we went by it. He chose to drink the cognac, I chose to drink the whiskey. Now, I've actually met Casmel before, and I've talked to him.
Have you asked yourself who brought the cognac? Where is the cognac coming from and the whiskey? Who's the maker?
Yeah. Now, if it really bothers me, I'll ask. All I have to do is I won't take it personally, but I can understand from a public relations standpoint, it might not be the best look. But for me to now use that and call him a traitor is a stretch, because I saw him on the streets. I saw him get tear gassed. She's been pushing for Ruto must go for a very, very long time. He's been pushing for how he wants change, and I still believe he does. Maybe his way of doing it is just different from Morara's. Even I don't agree with Morara completely. I've met communists and I tell them I don't agree with this, but I won't take it personal. Do you get what I mean? Hello?
I would like to ask you something. Let's say tomorrow we wake up and Morara is the president.
Yeah.
Do you think, what do you think would happen? And he's managing everything. There's no corruption. What do you think would happen?
If there's no if Morara becomes president and does the right thing, well, if he does the right thing, good for him. Obviously they'll be put.
And what's that?
Pardon?
The right thing is to govern, correct?
Yes.
Is to know how to govern, correct?
Yes.
But then, have you thought about resourcing and services? Because, as I understand, even though people are paying taxes, those taxes come from people who created jobs.
Yes.
Those players are the ones who are those players that have created those industries and jobs and those means.
Yeah.
Because Morara has to sit with those guys. Who are they?
No one's disputing that. Everybody has to be addressed. The police force will also have to be addressed. And we all know that the police force will also come with their terms and conditions. No one is disputing that everybody is going to have conversations. But one thing we need to accept is, let's at the very least have it within the confines of the Constitution. Let's not violate the Constitution while we go by pushing for things like what Kenya Kwanza looks like they're doing. If it's all within the confines of the Constitution, then let it all be an ideological conversation.
So wait, Avin, I'm asking the question again. Maybe you guys didn't hear it. So since it looks like Kasmuel is now working with the government, I took a long pause for that to sink in. So since it looks like Kasmuel is now working with the government to push for Gachagua to go, because he's not mentioning Ruto must go anymore, so we can assume that the check went through.
Okay, sorry. Go on.
Okay, we can assume your check haiko bounce. And now Gachagua is in the cold, and he doesn't have Gen Z. Morara seems to have hijacked the Gen Z, and now he's taken them for himself. But if Morara was to work with Gachagua, to save Gachagua, would you consider Morara now also a traitor? Because remember, these two are saying the whole government must go, and now they're working with the government. Remember that conversation? Because we must ask the question, like, hey, you said this whole government must go. Why are you working with them?
Yeah.
So what does that say about you when you were saying what you said? Because it's not a long time ago. Yeah, it's just the other day when you said Ruto must go, and now you're silent. The R is silent, you guys. Yeah, so he's silent on the R. It's now Gachagua must go. What does that say about you?
It just says you have a different opinion. Like, okay, let's say, for me personally, I don't think Gachagua should go by himself. And if the push is to get rid of Gachagua alone, I'll oppose it. So much so that, let's say if Gachagua is to call me now.
Yeah, we agree on that. We agree. But so we're asking, so why is Kasmuel silent on the Ruto must go, yet he's been screaming that for a long time?
Okay, so if Kasmuel has decided that he feels like he can get rid of Gachagua, he can get rid of Gachagua first and then get rid of Ruto second, that's his prerogative. I'm not going to demonize him. I'll just say I disagree.
I have something.
I'll just say I disagree.
Okay.
Fine.
All right. Hold on, Avin. Louis, make it fast so that we can hear from Bowa. Before Bowa, by the way, we go to Doctor.
Okay, I think your question is very simple here. Sorry for that. Let me pause this. Sorry
for
that.
How you're sitting on the speakers. You're talking to us, man. What's
Sorry, man. So I think your question is simple here. You are simply asking if Morara Kebaso was working with Rigathi Gachagua, could we say that he's a traitor? Meaning of a traitor is somebody who depicts a double face, presenting to be a friend and maybe letting out some plans, you get. So we would only wish to call Morara Kebaso as a traitor if he passes the expectation of people who are really with him. So the reason why people right now are taking Mukure as a traitor is because he has been posing as a Gen Z, pushing for impeach both. But today, we don't know whether it was a survival tactic, but how he received that podium to communicate and where he was safely kept writes off everything that we could say that he was tactical. It seems that was the message he was hired to communicate today. And I think now that people, the government side, those who are pushing for Rigathi must go, are tactical and sat down somewhere and framed, who can we take to counter Morara? So they saw the only person, a gentleman who can counter Morara, is only Samuel. Because when you see those SpaceX influencers, most of them are just people who are good in writing, but they are not good orators who can communicate effectively and with some strong, by not depicting being coward.
So I asked the question again. Because a few days ago, Ruto and Gachagua, before they started fighting, Ruto and Gachagua were the enemy. Now that the two are fighting, there's a split. And now, and don't you have two enemies now? Why is Gachagua the darling of the people? I don't understand this conversation. If your enemy splits by two, now you have two enemies to watch out for. There's one coming from this side and another coming from this side. How come you guys are picking sides now? What's going on here?
In fact, you see, the thing is, I think because has anybody signed a contract with Samuel or Morara with an abiding agreement?
No, now you're asking very silly questions.
People can change overnight.
Joe, I want you to see the game and just hold on and see where I'm going, okay? So can we ask the question, Morara and Samuel, are these guys who came in to get the voice and then go audition? Were these the auditions? I hope you understand what I'm saying. Were these the auditions for them to get the job? Because Samuel now has the job. Morara is going to get a job very soon. He must. He cannot survive on his own like that. So were these the auditions? Are we... I mean, I feel like they've just ejaculated all over me, you know. Like, Allah. You don't even want to... You don't call me. You don't... even a hug.
No, but
who's this? Go ahead, Avin.
Andrew, there was already a split. If you looked at the Gen Z movement analytically, it was split almost 3 to 4 ways. You know, there was Morara always had his group of people. The communists always had their group of people. Kasmil had his group of people, and even Senator Mtata. The Gen Z movement has been split 4 ways. It was split 4 ways before this beef between.
No, but Avin, Mtata and Kasmuel have been in the same room together, isn't you?
Even the communist people were in that room as well. It's the
Who
split
are these communists you keep talking about?
Buko Mole. I don't know if you know him, but he's the head of the Communist Party. See, we just saw the press release they did yesterday or the day before.
The guy with the big beard. The guy with a big beard, right? Yeah, he has a big beard. I think that's the guy you're talking about, huh?
Yes, sir. You can see they were in the same room, on the same table, but the differences are still there. But you see, you can differ ideologically. That's not wrong. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, we cannot differ on who the enemy is.
Eric Omondi?
You cannot differ on who the enemy is. Okay?
Yeah.
So the enemy was clear. Everybody was aiming their guns at Ruto's presidency, which is Ruto and Gachagua. So even Gachagua was being used to beat down anybody who was coming for Ruto.
Yeah.
Okay, Gachagua knows the system. He worked with the system. He's been a DO. He's been all these things. So we are saying, okay, I'm just asking the question: how come there has been a split in the Gen Z, and now the Gen Z is being forced to pick a side? Are you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's so bad. I would have thought that the Gen Z would have been sideless.
No, it's a bad look, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, but again, think about it, because these are the same guys who told you not to look in anybody else's direction. We are leaderless, we are pantyless, we are all this less. And now they are pushing an agenda. So while these the auditions, so take away your emotion from wanting to fix the country.
Yeah.
Are we there?
Yeah, no,
I'm saying let's assume that there's no need, there's no weight on your shoulders for making Kenya better.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at Morara and you look at Caswell, those two are politicians. Those guys belong in parliament.
Yes, they do.
They are guns for hire, Maniga.
No, guns for hire is a bit extreme. But
they are guns for hire. So they came to audition.
No, that's the case.
They came here, they auditioned, and then they got the job as a gun for hire. That's why someone like Mkenya Daima is very pissed off, because his audition did not go through. He was not able to be appointed as a gun for hire. I mean, what are these people?
And
Eric Omondi. They are screaming to be guns for hire. Someone like Gaido. Gaido wishes that they could approach him to be a gun for hire. Boniface Mwangi is a gun for hire.
Gaido is very, very childish, first of all. He's very, very immature. But the game of politics still...
now you forget about that.
The game of politics...
They did not meet the audition. Because one is being defended because it shows a power struggle. Because you see, in 1 minute, the whole Bomas now says, remove this guy. The second minute, they all say, all of you go. So it's almost like if you're testing, which has a pro.
Can I ask a question?
Because are there? Yeah.
Okay, even if it transpires like that, what's wrong? That's the healthiness of democracy.
The question is, why did Samuel not defend his mate? Because they fall under the same category. They all emanated from the Gen Z movement. They did not have a beginning before that. You see where they're coming from? Because where is it not Eric Omondi who's there? Anybody who began was mushroomed after the Gen Z movement is the one on the spot. The older ones are not there. Otherwise, you'll be having Eric Omondi there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Okay, hold up, guys. Dr. Witty, what do you want to say?
Thank you so much, Andrew. And thanks to everybody listening under the sound of my voice here. I think based on the question that you've asked here, whether Caswell is a traitor, were he to work with Gachagua, would he be considered a traitor as well? But we are missing one point here. Maybe from just the topic here, hashtag whatever. According to me, when you claim that all these people are supposed to go home, Ruto, Makanga na Dereva ende, I think that it is in other way you are trying to tell us that you are supporting Gachagua, actually. Because we don't have any bill in parliament, we don't have any motion in parliament to impeach Ruto. All right? After months of protest, after weeks of protest, we have not seen any bill in parliament, whether sponsored by a private citizen or by government official like a member of parliament. We have not seen anybody coming up with a motion to impeach Ruto. What we have seen is a motion in parliament to expel DP from his position. And during Gen Z protest,
hold up. So now let me take you back. So we've seen the motion in parliament to expel the DP. Who doesn't want the DP there?
Excuse Kibe.
It's a question to Dr. Witty.
All right,
it's a question to Dr. Witty. So I asked, did you hear my question?
Yes, bro. I think.
Yeah, so who doesn't want the DP there?
Who doesn't want or who want?
No, who doesn't want the DP? Who wants the DP to be impeached? Who is that?
I think the person who is actually pushing for the ouster of number 2 are probably people who are hungry, power-hungry people, those who are thirsty for power. Because we are seeing the likes of Akina Chungwa, they're the one pushing so much for Ruto.
So I want you to give me a name, because there's only one name.
No.
Name.
Fine. I may not be able to give you a specific name of the person pushing for the ouster. But based on the
why would we? Why we cannot talk like that unless we know that name. We can't behave like politicians, my guy. Politicians are the ones who don't mention names.
Kibe, remember in 1978. When Jomo was about to die, we saw a cabal from Mount Kenya trying to block Moi from ascending to the position, and the common person at that time never imagined that Jomo could die one day. Actually, it was actually treasonous. It was regarded as an element of treason. Imagining that Jomo could die.
Doctor, who does not want Gachagua there? Is it us, the public, or is it somebody else somewhere else?
They are politicians emanating from Mount Kenya, and they are in collaboration.
No. Is it? Answer my question the way I'm asking it. Is it them, or is it us?
It is not us. It is them. Because actually, Andrew, look at some of the charges against Gachagua. One of them is corruption, and number 2 is tribalism. Who is not tribal in this country? During elections, we are being put in cans, in tribal cans, like men.
No. Hold up. I don't want us to defend any position.
Yes.
Because we are not Kasmuel or Morara. Okay.
Yes.
So, why is this any of our problem? Because we didn't come up with the idea.
Yes.
How dare they say that they are going to impeach one of them, their own, on corruption charges, and then they use a corrupt way of doing it? I mean, you see what I'm saying? So us guys are the fools.
Absolutely.
We are the fool. We're being played here every day. And now you're given this public participation like a token just to make you feel better. But the decision has been made. Whatever the decision is, why are we involved? If they don't want Gachagua there, they get rid of him in the best way they know how to. But why are they involving us? Because now what's happening is our country has stopped being a country. You guys need to know this. Our country has ceased being a country. Now we're just a den of nonsense. Yeah, we're just politicking. Every day is politics. There's nobody who's doing any real business in this country. That's why corruption is so high.
Kibe,
yeah. So even
people have gone back to the point where. Okay.
Joe Maxia, hold up, Joe Maxia. I don't know why.
Okay, hold up.
Why you jump in when you can see a man is hot? You guys had a hot point there. This Joe guy. So I'm asking the question, just like we have seen with Kasmuel today, and we saw with Morara. You can see that these are politicians. Are we politicians or are we spectators? Because if you're spectators, then this thing should not really bother us. It should be like the way we can watch a football match between, the way we can watch Liverpool beating Manchester United, something like that. But before we go too far, let me say hi to Chris before I bring Bowa. Chris, what's happening?
I'm easy, bro. I'm easy. It's a very hot Friday afternoon after my guy, let me not generalize, Morara. I've seen the videos of him being attacked left, right, and center, and I'm like, bro, the more they attack this guy, I think the more powerful they make him. What do you think, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I see that. It's a game plan. It's always been the game plan. This guy called Nelson Mandela, it's the oldest game plan. Nelson Mandela was in prison for 27 years. He walked out of prison into presidency. Uhuru Kenyatta's dad walked out of prison into presidency. Uhuru Kenyatta was kept out of prison because of the presidency.
The recurring number of patterns here.
Bro, that's the thing. That's the thing. I'm like, hey, bro, it's like deja vu. I have seen this before. And the last time I saw it, 20 years later, those guys were bawling and the rest of us were still complaining about the same shit over and over again.
So for you, do you think that none of them is going to make any useful change?
What change? Do you want change? You see, let me tell you, when this thing started, I'll be very honest with you. When this thing started, I wanted to be a part of it. I really, really wanted it. I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted I had been seduced by the allure of standing in front of crowds. I really wanted that shit. But then this is a den of actors, my guy. These guys are all actors. They are all actors. So I'm like, oh, so it's not serious? Serious? These guys are drinking together. They're laughing together. I'm like, oh, no, I thought we were fighting for something real. Nobody wants change. You don't want change. Your grandmother doesn't want change. What change are you going to bring to them? A borehole? You call that change? Or you build a new road or a new university? That's change? There's no change if people don't stop thinking the way they think right now. What change? What possible change could there ever be? Tell me, what change?
But then, Kibe, here's the thing. We are seeing left, right, and center state assets being taken, being given contracts to people who cannot. I mean, people who have a history of being failures, like the Adani deals, the Chief, and all these things, institutions that were perfectly working, and probably they were just having a list of problems because of the corrupt establishment that we have. Don't you want to see this thing be brought to some level of order? Or should we just say let it burn all completely because we want to be a nation that?
I want everything to burn. I want there to be world war, nuclear. I want everything to just burn to the ground, and then whatever is left can survive.
Maybe the right question is to ask
Joe. Joe, my guy, listen. It's the first time me and you are interacting here.
No. Chris, don't waste too much time. Focus. You spend 6 minutes beating somebody down, you guys. Relax. It's a quick in and out.
All right.
So you are asking a question.
Yeah. But who and how?
You're asking a question. Hold up, Joe. Joe, stop interrupting. There's so many people today, so we don't have time for the interruptions. Let's give people a chance to speak, okay? So let's finish that question, Chris. Then we can bring in the most paid actor here today.
Yes. So my question is, don't you? I mean, you've made your point clear that you want the whole thing to burn down, and then
think about the corruption in Kenya. Well, like with the Adani deal, just think about it. Do you have even an idea of how many people are involved in that shit?
But that thing is lid tight. Because you ask the Minister of Transport, he cannot explain it.
So you don't even know the level of corruption that we're talking about. So when you're dealing with one thing, like you say, hey, I want to deal with Adani. Bro, do you know how many of these are being manufactured every day in every ministry?
Thousands of them, my guy.
These are the cartels Joe Maxia was talking about. These are the ones who are running this country. So they are the business owners, the ones who supply everything. And then they're the ones who are in government who make sure these guys get the contracts. These are the guys who own everything. And that's why, well, do you want to scream? We'll give you 5 minutes at the podium to scream uninterrupted and say, Gachagua must go. How much? So, why I'm putting these points to you guys is so that you can understand the conversation that I want here. I don't want that useless conversation where we're always just blaming one person or the other. This is not, I don't have that energy. Those days are gone. So, how much do you want? Because Samuel says, okay, I want, depending on consultation. But then what does that say about Samuel? Okay, so remember, me and you are outside here. We are watching because we are not in those meetings. You don't even know that there was a public participation today in Bomas. All of you have seen it, just like the way Mayor saw it. I was like, Allah, it was in Bomas. These guys knew about it. These guys are in the game, my guy. You see what I'm saying? They planned for it. They had an outfit for it. They had the bouncers for it.
So
you guys, these guys have the full uniform.
I mentioned something. Somebody can say, I'm not supplying the military today. Starve to death. Chaos will start from there. I'm not bringing feeding to your schools. No milk, no bread today. Are you going to go to Kasamo or Morara?
Joe, that's another very interesting angle to look at it from. Now, here's how we're going to go about this. In this order, that's how you're going to speak. I'll start with Luis. Then I'll go to Mbugua, Brown, Hannah, and then Irving. So in that order, you have 2 minutes. Give me your submissions. Let's go.
Okay,
Luis.
Thank you, Andrew. I wanted to give my submission in relation to history and also in relation to every activity that is unfolding right now. Remember, in history, we all know that it's only Vice President Jaramogi Oginga Odinga who made a submission to resign while he was suffering out of humiliation and betrayal. Remember, at no any given time in history have we ever tried to impeach a serving deputy president. The truth remains that the difference between deputy president and president is only the word deputy, because if president dies right now, the person who assumes that office to ensure the term continues is deputy president. So people should not just take this thing like a myopic or maybe to be as little as they see it. There's a big fight. For example, let me ask this question. Someone said that Rigathi Gachagua requested for an exit package of 4,000 Kenya shillings on each and every vote that they garnered from Mount Kenya. The question is simple. The same way Andrew is asking, who doesn't want Rigathi Gachagua from the office he's holding right now? It's the same question I would ask myself. What was the discussion these people were having in a closed door that would compel DP to request for an exit package? The answer is simple. Remember, every day we are being told that the government is losing billions of money, but Rigathi has only received a share of 5 billion to buy some of the properties he's having right now. Is the hotels that Rigathi Gachagua is having more important than the land which was grabbed from those little school-going kids that were tear-gassed some years back? So the simple thing that people should know is that there is a section of people surrounding president who does not want to see Rigathi Gachagua because they are seeing him as a barrier to every siphoning activity and corrupt deals that they want to conduct, while Rigathi will always request for its proportionate share or maybe differ with them by communicating the truth to wananchi if the deal does not go through. Go in a safe way. So the most probable thing that we should do, I think now we are going to conduct civic education to all wananchi. There is a gameplay that is being propagated by MCAs and MPs. This section of constitution that allows MCAs to maybe thwart attempt of governors to serve, because they are given power maybe to recall or to impeach governors, and MPs as well given power to impeach a certain state officer. That part should be scrapped off. If wananchi vote in any officer, they should also be given mandate to recall, having gone through public participation.